Hello, universe. Welcome to my world. Today, we're doing Angelina Jordan, and today she is meeting the Beatles. A month ago, I said, when we were looking at a Beatles song, I said, whatever you do, don't get me started talking about the Beatles. And today is the day when I start talking about the Beatles. You really needed to live through the 60s to realize the impact that they had on the whole decade. They exploded onto the scene in 62 and 63, and they were four young lads from England, and they were young, and they were full of energy, and they were original, and they were creative, and they were really, really dynamic. And what they did was completely groundbreaking. And to put it into perspective, I was almost as big a fan of the Beatles as I am now of Angelina Jordan. And they were also rather irreverent. They were locking around the whole time and joking, and there was a famous moment when George Martin, the producer, said to them, do you have anything you want to ask me? And George Harrison very cheekily said, yeah, where did you get that tie from? So they were really, really very lighthearted, and that was part of their attraction. And today, before we look at our main featured song, I'm going to give you a sample of my three favorite songs from the Beatles. First one is From Me to You. It was very early on in their stage. It's the raw energy that they had. This is actually a B-side from one of their singles. And it's just, the energy from this song is so typical of what they do. And a few years later, from one of their massive albums, they had a hit called Girl. Very intricate musically, it was very innovative, and it was in an unusual style. And even the guitar instrumental sounds like a harpsichord, which is totally unprecedented at the time.
Girl, girl. She's the kind of girl who puts you down when friends are there, you feel a fool.
And then in the late 60s, they did a song which John Lennon wrote and sang, and is also very beautiful and very original, Across the Universe.
Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my opened mind, possessing and caressing me. Jaguru Deva.
Now, the song Yesterday has been actually voted the best song of the 20th century, and it's been covered hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of times. Today we're looking at different categories of covers, and the first category, we have three soul artists who've paid their respects to Yesterday. First one is Marvin Gaye, who has a very sweet soul style to him, very distinctive. Next, we have the very famous soul singer from the 70s, Donny Hathaway. And then we have Ray Charles, all doing Yesterday.
Oh, yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly, I'm not half the man I used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me. Yesterday came suddenly.
Why did she have to go? I don't know. She wouldn't say. But wait a minute now. I said something wrong not long for yesterday.
And we have all different approaches and all different styles touching this song. Sampling 4 different approaches now. The first is a piano version of the song, followed by a funk version of the song, followed by a cello, followed by a jazz version of the song. So 4 different directions reaching the same song.
I'm not half the girl I used to be. Yeah, there's a shadow hanging over me. Oh, I believe yesterday came suddenly.
The next 4 we will look at are very, very contemporary. All these artists are still current and all of them have been very, very famous in the last 10 years. First, we're doing Billie Eilish, who is now barely 20 years old. Follow that, Lewis Capaldi. He's a young Scottish singer-songwriter. Follow that by Maroon 5, the group out of California. And then following that, another girl from California is Katy Perry. All of them doing the Beatles classic.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday.
Suddenly, I'm not half the man I used to be.
He sounds Scottish, doesn't
There's a
he?
shadow hanging over me. Oh, yesterday came suddenly. Why she had to go, I don't know. She wouldn't say. I said something wrong, now I long for yesterday. Yesterday, love was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday.
And before we get to the Beatles and Angelina Jordan, there are 2 legends from the 20th century who've also graced this song. Frank Sinatra is always immediately identifiable as smooth, easy, relaxed style that he has, followed by another legend of the 20th century, a Mr. Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan is not so famous for his voice, although it is recognizable, but he is more a master of phrasing, and of course he is a legend as a songwriter. And you need to have the status of a Bob Dylan to have a Beatle as your backing guitarist by the name of George Harrison. There's Sinatra and then Dylan.
yesterday. All my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday.
I'm not half the man I used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me.
I have a funny story for you. The song originally came to Paul McCartney in a dream, and he woke up and he wrote it down, and he wasn't sure if it was original, and he showed it round to the other Beatles and to other musicians. Have you heard this before? Do you recognize this? And no one did, and he realized it was an original, but he only had the music. And it was quite a while before the lyrics came. But in order to practice the song, he invented some lyrics, and they were nonsense lyrics. Now, let's play a guessing game. Was the name of the song before yesterday, was it originally called The Horse and Cart? Was it called Gin and Tonic? Or was it called Scrambled Eggs? Right. Thank you. The answer is written in this envelope. Over to you, Paul.
Scrambled eggs. Oh, my baby, how I love your legs. Not as much as I love scrambled eggs. Oh, we should eat some scrambled eggs.
And of course, the original was written and hit the big time in 1965. Other musicians, including other Beatles, originally were hesitant with the song. They found the song too soft. But Paul McCartney is, what can you say, he's Paul McCartney. This is what he did in 1965, and this is why it is such a classic.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly, I'm not half the man I used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me. Oh, yesterday came suddenly.
Right. And now this is still an Angelina Jordan channel. We have a 15-year-old Angelina Jordan coming along and gracing the world with her version of the song. We're not comparing her to anyone else, but she does have a unique style. She does have a unique sound. In this version, she does have a jazzy, bluesy approach, as she often does, and she reminds me a little bit of Amy Winehouse with this version. Let's have a listen.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly, I'm not half the girl I used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me. Oh, yesterday came suddenly. Why she had to go, I don't know. She would then say.
You know, Angelina Jordan touches songs in a different way. It's not a matter of saying better or worse. She has an original style, she moves people, and she inspires us all. We will be running and running with Angelina Jordan. Okay, gang, I'm out of here. Catch you later.